Hey, it's Wendy here from the Nomadic Vegan, and I am inside Kruger National Park in South Africa. For the past couple of days, I have had an incredible time here seeing so many animals. I've seen elephants, lions, leopards, rhinos, and so many others, some of whom I didn't even know existed until I saw them here in the park. So I want to share with you today the best way to experience a national park in South Africa. And this is a method that I just got really lucky and stumbled into because it's not really advertised as a possibility in the park, but I'm going to tell you exactly how you can do it. And be sure to stick around till the end of the video because I'm going to share with you the names and contact details of the two particular guides who have been showing me around. The most common way to visit one of the national parks in South Africa, or really any other country in Africa where you want to see lots of animals, is to do a safari drive, or what is often called here a game drive. And so that's when you get in some kind of vehicle, could be a Jeep or a minivan, and your guide will drive you around the park and look for animals. And this is great because you can get up really close to the animals, and they're generally not afraid of the cars, so you can get some really good close-up photographs, and you can view them from a close distance. Also, another common way, particularly here in South Africa and here in Kruger, is to drive yourself. So in many other countries that's not an option, but here you can just bring your own car or rent a car and drive around on your own. And I'm sure you will see quite a few animals that way, but you definitely won't see as many as you will if you're going with an experienced, trained guide, because they have an incredible eye for these things. I mean, these guys have been pointing out all different kinds of species of animals from so far away that I could barely even see that there was an animal, let alone identify the species. Another thing that you can do inside the park is to go on a walking trail. And this is something that not that many parks in Africa offer, but Kruger does. So you go, again, of course, with a guide, and you are in the park. So you are walking through the savannah just like the animals are, and they are around you. You never know what may be coming up around the bend. You get to see it from a completely different perspective. And you also learn lots of things along the way if you have a good guide. I found out that hyena have white dung because of all the calcium that's in the bones that they eat. I thought that was really interesting. We also stopped and saw insects, and we saw the footprints, the prints left behind by the animals. Just got a completely different perspective from what you get inside the vehicle. Now, the downside of the walking trail is that while the animals are not afraid of cars, they are afraid of humans on foot, and they have learned that humans on foot tend to hunt them, and so whenever the animals would see us or smell us, they would run away. So what I would recommend is to do a combination of the two, a walking trail and also a game drive or safari drive. Now, you could book these separately. You could go to one of the rest camps. For example, Pretorius Camp is the one where we started, and you could book a half-day walking trail and then follow that up in the afternoon with a half-day game drive. What I really recommend instead is to book a wilderness trail, which is a 3-day adventure. And the advantage of that is that you will stay not in Pretorius Camp or any of the other rest camps, which are pretty commercialized. You're not really getting out into the wilderness when you're there. But if you book a wilderness trail, then you do go out to a very remote wilderness camp. You get to stay in what is called a tent. It's really more like a log cabin. It's a very, very comfortable place. There's no electricity, but you're given lamps, lanterns that you can take around with you for light when you need it, and you have a very comfortable cabin with a bed, and it even has an ensuite bathroom and shower and everything that you need. And you can hang out on your veranda and watch the animals who are right outside your door. And that is an experience that you can only get when you're on a wilderness trail. Now, a wilderness Wilderness Trail is advertised as being purely a walking trail. In theory, that's how it works, but in reality, if you want to, your guide will take you on a drive in the afternoon instead of going on a second walk. And that's actually what our guides recommended doing, so we took their advice, and it was the best thing that we've ever done because we really did get to have the best of both worlds. We had the experience of the walk in the morning where we learned so much, and they taught us all about the plants and the insects and the dung and the prints and everything that we were passing by, and then in the afternoon and in the evening we got to go on a drive with them. You're in a small vehicle, which you would normally have to pay more money than the larger vehicles if you wanted to book that separately as a game drive. They're also able to go off-road. So if you're in your own vehicle, you have to stick to the paved roads inside Kruger, but these guys can take these vehicles off on the dirt tracks that head off of those roads. So we were able to get much closer to animals. So my tip to get the most that you can out of your safari experience in South Africa and in Kruger in particular is definitely to book one of the wilderness trails. You do need to book them in advance, at least a few weeks in advance, because they book up very quickly, but it's highly worth doing. I highly recommend it. The particular one that we did is the Nappy Wilderness Trail, and our guides are Julius and Philemon, and they work this trail all the time. This is what they do 6 days out of the week. They're here all the time, and they know this part of the park inside and out. So I will leave the link down below where you can book through SANParks, which is the South Africa National Parks system, and be sure to ask for Julius and or Philemon, or if you want to contact me through my website, thenomadicvegan.com, I can even give you Julius's email address. If you want to contact him directly, you can do that. But my advice is do not miss out on this experience. It is absolutely incredible and the best way to experience the park because you really get to see it from 2 different perspectives. Alright, enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!